Ariella, JJ, and Noam tolerated a mother distracted by a phantom presence that they waggishly nicknamed Spinny. Since then, we have been joined by members big and small: Roni, Matanel, Naama, Omer, Eyal, Arbel, Nehara, and Aluma. All of you have enriched my life with your love, wonder, and humor. And, as ever, there is my husband Ron. As Amy Lowell wrote of a partnership mellowed over many years, I am completely nourished. Part 1. A Jew in Amsterdam. Prologue. July 27th, 1656, was a day of horror, anger, and sadness. The Jewish community of Amsterdam had gathered to cast off one of its own members. This was not a matter to be taken lightly. The community was a large but intimate family forged by long years of suffering and, more recently, by years of thankful celebration. In the several blocks of the city that the Jews called their home, everyone knew everyone else, and the connections frequently stretched back several generations. The crowd was somber as it waited with nervous anticipation inside the main synagogue. Friends and neighbors acknowledged each other's presence, but greetings were muted. The light, too, was muted. In a sign of mourning, the only sources of illumination were the black candles held by some of the congregants. For some of those gathered in the synagogue, the mere thought of the individual to be expelled aroused a righteous fury. Others felt only a leaden despair. But if the Jewish community was a body, one of its limbs had become incurably infected. The only solution was to cut it off. The muted conversation ceased as an official of the community mounted the bimah, the raised platform in the middle of the sanctuary from which the Torah, the holy scroll containing the 5 books of Moses, was normally chanted. Reading from a prepared document in a formal, legalistic style, the official briefly laid out the facts of the case. The offender had adopted evil opinions and had committed monstrous deeds. The offender had persisted in his abominations despite the community's many efforts to reform him. The offender, in consequence, was being cast from the Jewish people for all eternity. Relatives, friends, and neighbors of the offender held their breath as a long and furious series of curses rang ominously through the sanctuary. Each curse was another toll of the death bell. Cursed be he by day, and cursed be he by night. Cursed be he when he lies down, and cursed be he when he rises up. Cursed be he when he goes out, and cursed be he when he comes in. The Lord will not spare him, but then the anger of the Lord and his jealousy shall smoke against that man. And all the curses that are written in this book shall lie upon him. And the Lord shall blot out his name from under heaven. And the Lord shall separate him unto evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the law. The members of the crowd gasped. The community had dealt with offenders before, but such fury was unprecedented. And now they were to hear what all this meant in terms of daily life. Still on the platform, the official spelled out the rules. No Jew, including even the offender's closest relatives, was to have any further contact with the offender whatsoever. It was forbidden to speak with him, to communicate in writing with him, to read any texts he had written or might write in the future. It was even forbidden to remain under the same roof that sheltered him, or to approach within 4 cubits, about 6 to 8 feet, of his presence. If the symbolism of these measures was not sufficiently clear, the snuffing out of the black candles now made it unmistakable. The offender was dead to the community in which he had spent his entire life. The Jews of Amsterdam had been moved to this drastic step by an outrage that would soon spread throughout Europe. It would not be long before Bento Spinoza, the individual at the center of the scandal, would be labeled the most dangerous and impious man of the century.